0. We gotta go to La Crosse. Today's Thursday. I saw some interesting videos. I've been wondering how they built the pyramids, and it's a lot like concrete. They poured them. It's similar to concrete. It's a geopolymer, and yeah, you can make it. The guy made some online. It's a little different concept than the concrete like I used in the tower. What they do is they take rock, like granite, and it's almost like they liquefy it and then make it like cement, and then it reconstitutes into granite again, and it looks like granite when it's done. And that's why people thought they were cutting stones and moving them, and I mean, there's no way they could have moved all those stones on the pyramids. That's the thing. I mean, but there's like little nubs or like protrusions, and that's where they drain on a lot of the blocks. You'll see them like in Peru and stuff. You'll see like a little protrusion sticking out. Often it's in the middle or the bottom of the block. Usually more towards the bottom, unless they did move it afterwards. If it's at the top, then they might have moved the block after they poured it. I mean, you can pour them and then move them. You can stand them up or whatever. But the nubs are where they drain the water off, and they can reuse that liquid. I don't know if it's actually water though. But whatever it is they drain off, they can reuse it. And so that leaves that. In other words, there's an explanation for how it looks. I didn't bring the paper with me at all, but I know where it is. But it's almost like a paste or a dough, but they have to drain the water off, otherwise it'll ruin the consistency of the poured concrete. And it takes about as long as concrete to dry or cure or whatever, and it's a reaction. But they use lye. The magic ingredient contains lye. You have to get lye to make it, and you can make it. You can make it. You have to make it in a pan, and it comes out as a liquid. And you add this liquid, and then you add water. It's a little more complicated than mixing concrete, but it lasts longer. It's a little bit more, I mean, you have to use lye, which is really kind of dangerous to work with. It's not real bad, but it'll burn you. So you have to use gloves. You should use gloves. And you don't want it to splatter in your face either. And then you add water, and you have this sand. You could use sand, or you could use pulverized rock, which they may have used sand when they built the pyramids. I think what they did was they used sand. but you could also pulverize rock if you wanted a certain color or something, or a certain kind. And it melts the sand. It like turns it into almost like a liquid. And then it becomes kind of like a Play-Doh. And yeah, it can have bubbles in it if you don't, like tap the bubbles out. So in that way, it's a little bit like concrete, but it's really a different concept than concrete. It's really a different kind of thing. Concrete, it kind of works on a different chemical reaction. Concrete's probably a little easier to work with, and it's a little easier to get the materials maybe. This stuff probably is more expensive than concrete, but it lasts. I mean, if you do it right, it'll last centuries, it'll last thousands of years. Whereas concrete, a lot of concretes don't really last that long. They only last about 100 years, but you can make them last longer than that if you do it right. I mean, it helps to not throw salt on it in the winter. This stuff, this polymer, it'll last as long as a piece of granite, I guess. I did a little bit of snow blowing today. I did the rest of the turnaround, and then I did up to the tower just to kind of use up the gas, because it looks like it's going to get warm out and we're going to lose our snow, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that gas. I mean, I suppose I could put it in the car. To try to get it on your hands and stuff. I don't know how much gas is in there, but I kind of have an idea how far a tank of gas will get me. It'll do the whole driveway basically. It'll do the area back to the tower. It'll do the turnaround. It'll basically do everything that I drive on. But it sounds like the pyramids and these other buildings that have these massive structures, those were poured. It's similar to how I poured the tower, but not quite the same. I guess you probably could pour it like cement. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like they used lumber like the same way that I did. It seems like what they did is they had some other material between the lumber and the actual rock, the cement. In other words, it doesn't show boards and stuff like the tower does. They may have used leather, or they may have used something that doesn't show that much detail. They could have used leather. Something that doesn't show its imprint. But there's some areas where they have like square corners, and you can tell that they probably used wood, but then they put this stuff in front of it, so that the wood is not quite as much showing.